Welcome back to this week's review. Slightly different relative to some of the weekly sort of posts or reviews that we've been uh, releasing over the past month or so. Those are, I guess, of a bit of a higher standard. We've been trying to take a different approach to providing you guys with, I guess, more meaningful content. And that is still the intention. I think the reality of it is just that not all weeks will look the same, especially, while we still have, 9 to 5 jobs. Things do get a bit crazy. Marcy's not going to be posting his weekly video for about 2 weeks while he prepares for his exam, which is coming up this week. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Yeah, this was just a crazy week for me. This coming week is also extremely busy. There's a video that's kind of half done, or rather an idea that's kind of half put together. If you've been following the Daily Nuggets, then you know there's a sort of AI compliance bot that I'm busy building, and I wanted to focus on, taking you guys through that build this week, but it's just not done, and I didn't want to rush it. And so thought uh, we could just do a normal review, take you through the performance. And I think from time to time, I will do this just to keep you guys in the loop on how the account is going, because I see some people do comment and, ask how the funded account is going and all of that. So this actually may be meaningful from time to time. So 2 trades taken this week, 2 full losses. If you remember how I used to structure these, a while back before getting the funded account, I've expanded my sort of ASR template a bit. Both met the plan. Both were relatively low risk. One was pound NZD short, another was USD JPY short. The difference really came in with one being a standard technical loss that was on pound NZD. And that was a bit of mismanagement, could have reduced risk at some point, and taken less of a loss. It still would have resulted in a partial loss, but that would have been better than the full loss that I had taken. And I guess that wasn't so much a thing of emotion, but I was a bit too mechanical, I think, in managing the position, and we fell a couple pips short off that 1R mark where I usually move to half risk. And yeah, there were signs that price was beginning to reverse. And so I could have used a bit of discretion, played it conservatively, and uh, reduce risk. But yeah, that was technical loss, and there was one emotion-based loss, which was the dollar yen short. And that was really in the entry criteria of the position. The high time frame was fine. The low time frame parameters were met. This trade did meet the plan. I think on a different day, I just probably wouldn't take it because my micro time frame confirmation wasn't as clear as it should have been. And so there was an element of rushing into this position, out of FOMO or yeah, primarily FOMO really, as my entry window was closing. And so a bit of an early entry there. I could have opted to wait for more confirmation, given that, all the entry criteria wasn't as clear as I usually required to be. And if I'd waited for that further confirmation, then I wouldn't have got it. And yeah, the trade would have the whole trade idea would have been invalidated. And so, yeah, rushed into that and took the loss. And so I'm attributing that to an emotion-based loss as opposed to, something that was really clear in terms of a technical error. So yeah, coming on to missed trades, quite a few again this week. And so the nuggets will be centered around mainly missed trades this week. And I think as I'm in this phase of drawdown, you really want to be looking at the trades that you're taking, whether there's recurring themes there, and actions that are leading to, repetitive losses, as well as then money that's being left on the table. Are there any, are there trades that you really should have been taking that you aren't, and if so, why? And I think this week it's more to focus on, because of the number of missed trades, why are there so many each week? I think last week similarly there was about five. And so trying to bridge that gap. And so yeah, what did I learn this week? Not many lessons. Yeah, nothing too important there. But I guess one was that, the market really doesn't owe you anything. And you kind of need to continue executing on the plan regardless of the sequence of results. And that's all you can really lean on. Yeah, and then the second observation, or what I learned, is that, or it was more a question I know, that I was framing, was that why am I not making money on opportunities where I had the correct bias on the daily time frame, but then for whatever reason missed the position? And I'll be focusing on Euro USD specifically when looking at a lot of the missed trades, because a daily move has just played out. And throughout that daily move, there wasn't one position that I took in line with that, even though week on week, my bias was, long on Euro USD. And so that's going to be the main pair in focus this week. And I think that's going to go a long way to helping me capitalize on more opportunities in the market. And so, yeah, the most important thing I need to work on improving this week is reducing those missed positions. And then the most important thing I should continue doing this week is, I guess, just being mindful of my mental state as, over this past week, I've fallen deeper into drawdown because it becomes easy to stay in that rut and, I guess, spiral from that point. And so I think psychology's been a big focus. I'm being very consistent in terms of my daily journaling. But then also, yeah, trying to plug the gaps, which is the main intention for this week. And then just sticking to the plan, and over time, the sequence of results should, yeah, reflect that in the account. And then I guess, as always, just for that transparency, Alpha Capital account, withdrawal dates or payout dates, I guess 19 June, 3rd July. 19 June date is unlikely. So we'll see, yeah, I guess over the next couple of weeks, whether a payout is possible early July. Remember, guys, consistency is the choice you make when you start doing the things you should be doing day in and day out.